Definitely when I started with the camera, I didn't really know 100% what how the photography triangle really worked. So I remember one set was in a garden and it was really beautiful on the screen on the camera. But when I got, home and blew it up, it was so noisy. And I realized that I'd set the ISO super, super high for no reason. I didn't need to at all. I just didn't know any better. And it was
Yikes.
awkward. But yeah, fortunately, I was friends with the model. So it was cool. But it's like nowadays, if I'm being paid, like I can't afford to mess it up like that. So that's an anxiety that I always have. I remember I shot a wedding when I was really just getting started, and I'm so grateful to my friends for giving me the opportunity. I wouldn't have done it, but but fortunately, it went fine. But there were definitely a lot of shots that were kind of just ruined by my own inexperience. But fortunately, most of them, or at least some of them, I'd say half of them, were pretty good, or at least salvageable. So it worked out. But that the wedding specifically taught me how critical it is to just know your stuff and just be confident. Like you can't be fumbling with your camera because it makes everybody nervous when you look nervous, and that shows in the photo. They're trusting you with special moments, and it doesn't need to be something as huge as a wedding where everything there's so much pressure. Like that's only for some people. I actually don't like shooting weddings. It's nerve-wracking. It's terrible. It's beautiful. It's beautiful for everybody else, but it's like the worst experience for you. You're just like sweating, like, oh God, did I miss the kiss? And you're just like terrifying. Really cool experience, but I probably won't do it for a little while until I'm more confident. um, but yeah, like all of that stuff, it just teaches you to be super just knowledgeable about what you're doing. When you're shooting with friends, it's cool if you mess up. If you're being paid, practice as much as you can before you get there. Make sure the client is getting their money's worth. If you do mess up, just be real about it, honestly. If you're getting paid for it, maybe give them a free shoot or something, or give them a refund. It depends on how you set up your contract before, but it happens. Maybe you're on the way back from the shoot and your memory card glitches out and you lose the whole, event. I saw this Twitter post of these two photographers that had like $5,000 worth of photography equipment. Somebody broke into their car and took it all. That's crazy and terrifying. What do you do?
Rough.
Right? That's like the worst experience. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. That's like your art form, and it was like their bread and butter. It's like all of a sudden you can't work. I hate that just thought. It's terrifying, but you just always have to be ready. Be ready for the worst, but just do your best to mitigate that as much as possible. Um, and check your ISO settings, please. Please check your ISO settings. Learn from me.
That's a lot of valuable advice. It is.
Oh my God.
I want to come back to different elements of photography and how you view them, but before we do, let's talk a little bit about cosplay.
Sure. Absolutely.
What about cosplay appeals to you? Because there are many people who participate in cosplay, but there aren't as many photographers, and a photographer of your level as well. I can tell you're someone who is very interested and committed to the cosplay scene. What about it gives you that sort of like love and affection towards it?
Yeah, for sure. So anime manga were huge in developing my artistic eye. So my dad is a curator of a big museum in Detroit. So I always grew up in kind of an artistic home. Like I would wake up in the middle of the night and go downstairs and get like a glass of water, and there would be like an African mask on the wall or something. And I'm just used to that. Like I'm comfortable with it, and I love just art in general. So cosplay to me is just art. It's just a continuation of that art form, and I love just seeing how creative people get by just seeing a show that they love and going like, okay, I can literally make myself look like this character. I think there's a lot of power in just transforming yourself, if only for a day or two, into someone completely different. Like there's something so amazingly surreal about walking down the street and bumping into like Master Chief or something. And it kind of makes you believe in magic for a little bit. And I think that's really powerful about cosplay. I think people don't give cosplayers enough credit for just the work they put into making these incredible, really kind of ridiculously designed characters sometimes, like practical, and that always blows my mind. Like, how did you make Mercy's wings flap? That's crazy. I didn't know that was possible, but you made it happen. I think there's a lot of just power there that I really respect from cosplayers. Looking forward, I think cosplay just continues to impress me. I think the last year, everyone's been, trapped at home, dying to just keep making that art that they love to make. So I'm really excited to see what this like forced hibernation has brought out of all these like super creative, super talented people. What I would love to see though is more cosplayers of color and less of that kind of gatekeeping that I've noticed. It's weird to me that like the default skin tone for every color, every character is just automatically like a white dude or white lady. I don't think that's super fair. And now we're seeing more anime with like dark skinned characters like Nagatoro, which is cool. But it's like, wait, so do we get to like rag on all of you now? Like, like how does that exchange work? Like, I've seen so many black cosplayers, or not personally, but I've seen like online so many black cosplayers go through so much just crap from the community and from other, anime lovers, and I think that's so messed up. I think that like it drags the good natured quality of cosplay through the mud a little bit when there's that kind of gatekeeping, like you can't be this person. But cosplay by its own nature is that anybody can be pretty much anybody, within good taste, I guess. Like but for the most part you can kind of be whoever you want to be, and I think that's important. I think kind of restricting certain characters to certain skin tones is so anathema to like this whole culture. Like, you play a video game, you can pick your skin tone, but we get freaked out when you see like a black on from Persona, and I think that's so strange to me. But I love it because the power of cosplay is that a lot of these characters, you don't see people who look like you in a lot of the media that we watch, and a lot of anime and a lot of video games and stuff like that. But as a cosplayer, you have the power to reimagine those characters in real life. And that's really cool. Like, I love seeing little kids, freak out when they see like a black version of a character they love, or see like a black Tanjiro or something, and they freak out. It's so great because they never even. There's a quote from Itasha Wamak. She's the basically the modern Afrofuturist like master, and she says a choice you don't know is a choice you don't have. And that's kind of like the power of just seeing something that you didn't think was possible. All of a sudden, nothing's impossible. But I think when we kind of gatekeep people, we just restrict cosplay and anime and video games to only one thing that it can ever be. And it may be comfortable for you, but it's really restricted for everybody else. Um, so yeah, I love cosplay for the diversity of thought and creativity that it brings, and I want to see it grow in all the ways that it can.